हेलो गाइस, वेलकम बैक टू येट अनदर एपिसोड ऑफ कंटेंट मॉन्स्टर्स। एंड आज के इस एपिसोड में वी आर रिव्यूइंग द इंडिया श्रीलंका वनडे एंड T20 सीरीज।
Is blowing from the west to the east and he hits it towards the east.
Now, what are the key takeaways from the series? Now, the key benefits or the key positives from the series from an Indian perspective are as follows. I think the first one is that India's deep bench strength got tested. The very fact that India could put up another completely different 11 on the park from the one that's playing in England is a huge achievement in itself. And I think a lot of credit goes to the BCCI, to the local domestic cricket structure, and of course the IPL for having ensured that India has such a vast pool of talent to choose from. In these times of COVID, it's very essential, especially given the difficult logistics, difficult traveling schedules involved, the fact that teams have to spend almost a month in quarantine before a tour. It's important that any cricketing playing nation has a vast pool of talent to choose from, and that pool of talent was clearly on display. The very fact that India could pull off a 2-1 series victory in the one-day internationals and could manage to compete in the T20s, actually dragged the second T20 international right till the last over. And of course, they had an off day in the last T20. The fact that they could keep the first string Sri Lankan lineup on their toes, even in the T20s, is a fairly good achievement for any cricketing nation, and I think India should be proud of the fact that they boast of such talent. The second, I think, would be the emergence of Suryakumar Yadav. I think without a doubt that man is in the form of his life. I don't think there is any doubt in my mind whatsoever in terms of the fact that he now has to be in that starting lineup for the T20 World Cup. The confidence with which he's playing, the swag with which he comes onto the field, it's almost as if already scored 100 before he's started batting. That confidence, that swagger, that arrogance is what's needed in the T20 World Cup, and Suryakumar Yadav brings that in abundance. And like I said, he's in the form of his life. It's the best time to blood him into the Indian cricket team, and he must be a permanent fixture, at least in the limited overs games for India. The third, I think, is the emergence of spinners. I think the fact that Yuzvendra, Chahal and Kuldeep Yadav are back in some sort of a form augurs well for Indian cricket, because I still believe that they have a lot to offer both in the one-day internationals and in the T20s. Specifically Kuldeep Yadav, I thought he bowled well in the T20s, and I think Virat needs to show a lot more confidence in him, because if he's backed by the team management, I'm sure he'll do well. The very fact that both these spinners were doing fairly well till the time Dhoni was playing proves that they need that sense of confidence, either from someone behind the stumps or from the team management or both. And if that were to happen, I think both of them will do well. And even Rahul Chahar's performance, specifically in the T20 internationals, was very good. So I think India's spin armory is fairly strong, given the fact that Ashwin and Jadeja are playing in England, and despite that we have these three spinners doing well. I think India's spin cupboard is reasonably full now. So I think the form of these spinners is another positive from this series. The fourth positive from the Indian perspective has been the emergence of Deepak Chahar as a bowling all-rounder. His superb batting performance in the second ODI, he literally won that match for India single-handedly, ensured that India takes away the one-day international series from Sri Lanka. So I think he was clearly a revelation, especially his batting. It also provides India with one more option in terms of all-rounders, either for the T20 World Cup or even for ODI matches going forward. So I think that was a great positive to emerge from this series. Now, if I were to list out what the possible disappointments were for me from this series, one is clearly, if this series was to be an indicator in terms of what to expect from some of these players, or if there is a possibility of some of these players being included in the team for the T20 World Cup, I don't think we've got an answer to that, because once Krunal Pandya was diagnosed with corona and 8 other players couldn't play the last T20 internationals, so to that extent it was an opportunity lost clearly. A lot of these players weren't tested in the last 2 internationals. So to that extent, identifying if there were any of these players who could be drafted into the T20 team for the World Cup, I don't think we've got an answer for that. The second disappointment for me is the form of Hardik Pandya. Very clearly, the fact that he is no longer bowling is also weighing heavily on his batting. He got a lot of chances in the ODIs and even in the first T20 that he played. Sadly, he's clearly missed out on those chances, and Hardik's form clearly now seems to be a big worry. I hope he manages to get back into form. There is the rest of the IPL that is still to be played in Dubai, and the fact that the World Cup is also going to be held in Dubai will provide enough and more time for him to practice and hopefully come back into form. The third disappointment for me would clearly be Sanju Samson's form. The Kerala batsman has shown so much potential in the past. I mean, I was really hoping he'll do well in this series and give a tough place to Rishabh Pant for the wicket-keeping slot. I am sorry to say that's not happening. He got a lot of chances in this series, but he squandered all of them. Somehow, his magical form in the IPL is not translating at the international level. Lack of talent definitely cannot be the reason, because he's a very, very talented batsman. I actually think there is a mental block, and whether it's the BCCI or the coaches, they need to spend some time with him and untangle the mental block that he's into, because otherwise he's a great batsman, he's a quality talent, and he must be persisted with. But this form of his was clearly a disappointment. So these three things to me were the disappointments as far as the Sri Lankan series goes. But all in all, I think it's a good idea to have two such teams. It's a good idea to have Rahul Dravid as coach to mentor some of these youngsters. I'm sure the time that they would have spent with Rahul Dravid over the course of this last 1 month will hold all of them in very, very good stead. There cannot be a better person to handle talent, to manage talent, to ensure that the players punch above their potential than Rahul Dravid. To me, there is no doubt that he must be looked at as the future coach of India. I hope that happens. I wish that happens. But having said that, whatever time these players might have spent with him during the course of the month, I'm sure is going to do well. I'm sure is going to do wonders for them in the future. So that's it from my side, guys. These were some of my key takeaways, key positives, key disappointments from the India-Sri Lanka series. I'd love to hear your views on what you thought of this series, whether you think series like this should be organized in the future. I definitely think so. It will also help in giving some of the other players a break in these times of COVID, when they are away from their family for a long time, when they are in these bio bubbles. It tends to get difficult to play as much cricket as they used to in the past. So I think this is a great initiative by the BCCI, and I think a lot more teams, if they have the kind of bench strength that India has, would want to indulge in series like these. I'd love to hear your views. If you like our video, please do subscribe to our channel for more such videos on cricket, products, movies. Please do keep coming back to our channel. Please do subscribe to our channel. We'll see you soon. Thank you.